Ideally, Sowore shouldn't even be in detention, not to talk of getting a bail from the court to be free. What is he arrested? What was he arrested for? For protesting, for expressing himself freely. The whole truth of the matter is that the ruling elite class, our oppressive class who have been mismanaging our commonwealth in the corridors of power, are uncomfortable with Sowore's freedom because Sowore's way of expressing himself and exposing the rots in government makes them perpetually uncomfortable. So they are more comfortable to have such a strong voice kept somewhere in Kuje Prison where they can have this freedom to misbehave, misappropriate, and continue, bastardizing our institutions. Like you've always known this our system, where a few individuals have bastardized our institutions, they mismanage our institutions as if it's their private property. First of all, you wonder why in a democracy, a magistrate court in Kuje will be so militarized with the police and the army manning here as if to say Boko Haram people are coming for negotiations here. And even when Boko Haram come for their negotiations, they don't even come with this kind of arms. What I see the Nigerian army carrying is cameras. They begin to do cameramen and videographers for terrorists and bandits who are receiving monies from governments to go and terrorize the same people. But here we are in at the magistrate court in Kuje, and they are playing hanky-panky with signing bail conditions. It was supposed to be 3 shorties. That was what was initially in the condition. All of a sudden, they upped it up to 5 just to make it more difficult. And the next thing, they are still around doing their back and forth that the magistrate is trying to get it signed or they are trying to meet the conditions. Well, we can only hope that at the end of the day, they sign the bill. But even if it's not signed today, I won't be surprised because ideally, Sowore shouldn't even be in detention, not to talk of getting a bail from the court to be free. What was he arrested for? For protesting, for expressing himself freely. The whole truth of the matter is that the ruling elite class, our oppressive class who have been mismanaging our commonwealth in the corridors of power, are uncomfortable with Sowore's freedom because Sowore's way of expressing himself and exposing the rots in government makes them perpetually uncomfortable. So they are more comfortable to have such a strong voice kept somewhere in Kuje Prison where they can have this freedom to misbehave, misappropriate, and continue, bastardizing our institutions. Nigeria will never be free with this kind of leaders in power. Nigeria will never experience that dream that we've always had for our country with such leaders reigning with impunity, perpetual impunity. The only way forward for Nigerians is to look at what's happening to Sowore today as something that is, going to be at the detriment of every Nigerian who intends to speak freely in this country, associate freely in this country, or even assemble freely in this country. So it's not just about Sowore. And if we continue to look at what they are doing to Sowore and we stand aside and say nothing or do nothing, eventually it will be our turn. And that's why we are now saying to Nigerians that we must all rise up. We must all come to that point where we are no longer scared of this oppressive and repressive tactics of our government to the point where we demand that if it's democracy we are practicing, then let it be democracy. But we cannot have a democracy where people were tear-gassed in courts today, people were chased out of open courts, and even now the whole of these premises has been militarized just for peaceful comrades who are here in solidarity with Omoyele Sowore. But when it's time to fight insecurity, kidnappers and terrorists, what do we see? We see military holding cameras and creating content for people who will be paid monies to terrorize the same people. So we can't continue running around in circles. We must tell ourselves the truth, even if the truth is unpalatable, even if the truth comes with consequences of oppression, arrest, detention, we must tell ourselves the truth because only this truth indeed can set Nigeria free. And the truth is, Nigerians must bond together, mobilize together massively on the streets to resist injustice. That was why Thomas Jefferson said, if injustice has become law, resistance has to become our duty. And that's why we're here today. In solidarity to Omoyele Sowore, we're asking that he should be freed. This drama of magistrate not signing, very soon they'll say magistrate had diarrhea and went home. He has to sign what he needs to sign, and Sowore has to be free. As long as Sowore is not free, our resistance will not stop. And even when he's free, our resistance will not stop because it's hasta la victoria sempre. Until there's victory, we keep pressing. The struggle continues.
Okay, I would like you to react to the call or the statement by the Lagos state government that they are warning Sowore not to mobilize its people against the demolition in Lagos going on presently now, and why they would even issue that statement.
The reason they issue that statement is just is because they realize already that in this country, Sowore and the Take It Back movement are unarguably the strongest voice of opposition. We are the strongest voice that speak truth to power. We've always stood by the people of Sowore. In fact, what I saw on video is evil. The least to say, it's evil. How can people be sleeping in their houses and you start demolishing their houses in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m.? I saw a guy who bled in fact, he bled profusely all over his face. The Nigerian police were, very unprofessional and shameless enough to carry thugs into that community to beat up people, harass people, just to get these poor masses into more poverty. And what's the reason for doing this? Because that choice, that area of land is a choice part of land that they've kept aside for those who they've sold it to. Of course, none of those people in Ororo Shoki can afford the estate they are trying to build there. But why would you evict Nigerians from where they are staying? They don't have a right to shelter, and you are throwing them into more poverty because some of the elite class have bought their land and they want to start developing that place. So the Lagos government calling Sowore not to take any action is just saying to you indirectly that they already know who are the real voices of truth. They already know those voices that have been standing with the people of Sowore and will keep standing with them. As far as I'm concerned, none of us are even paying attention to what the commissioner said. He's just doing his job as a commissioner. When he retires, he will join the people who are fighting their pension for them. Unfortunately, he's doing his job, and the people of Sowore, they are going to rise up. Take it back movement, we are going to stand strongly behind them. These demolitions must stop. We can't be saying we have 139 million people in multidimensional poverty and a governor is feeling so good and happy to demolish settlements of people who are living in that category of multidimensional poverty, and is telling us to keep quiet. See, this injustice is not going to be sustained. They can be doing what they are doing now, but I can assure this ruling class that every act of repression that they are bringing out meting on the masses today is only going to be a catalyst and a boost for that resistance that is going to boot them out of our political and socio-economic space. My name is Rex Elanu from Take It Back Movement.
Take on the issues that happened from Friday where the court was in disarray, and up to now that Sowore has not even been released, despite why they have met the bail condition.
I don't want to talk too much, but if you were here this morning, if you were here this morning, I think you will understand. Okay, if you are here this morning, you will understand why we are fighting. And even you as a journalist, you will call on Nigerian youths to come out and fight for what is right. So you can imagine we were peaceful. We were not even demonstrating, just sitting in the court. Police came, chased us out. While we were going out, they started shooting. They started shooting tear gas at us. One of the police said, shoot them, shoot them. One of them was resisting. One of them was insisting that he's not going to shoot. The other police that was telling the second police to shoot now collected gun from the second police and started shooting live bullets in the air. So I think what they really wanted to do today was to cause a commotion here and put it on us and frame it that Sowore supporters were the ones who came to court to distort the court, which is the reason why they did not bring Sowore to court. So you can see Sowore is not in court today, and we are here, we have been here, so we are still waiting to see if Sowore will be released today. Thank you. My name is Rock Yusuf.